Hello my dear YouTube friends, it's Carolina and welcome back to my channel. So the new year has finally arrived and I was thinking what would be the best first video of this year. And since I didn't really introduce myself on this channel last year, I thought that I would look back on 2023 so that we can have an overview of what was going on in my life and you'll get to know me a bit better. So I made myself a cup of tea and I hope you're comfortable and ready for this video. And if you would also maybe like to get a cup of tea, then you pause this video and get this tea and I will wait for you. Let's start. So my 2023 started in Tallinn with some serious back pain and an X-ray result that left me shocked. I was already experiencing back pain for some time, but it got worse, and since my boyfriend had also a back injury and was waiting for his back surgery, he suggested that I get this X-ray done as soon as possible because our symptoms were very similar. So I contacted my family doctor and got an X-ray, and X-ray results said that I have a prolapsed disc and one of my vertebrae is dislocated by 6 millimeters. So I was completely shocked because I understood that it's probably going to be only surgery. Like the only thing that could solve it is probably going to be surgery. And at that moment I was working as a logistician, which meant that I was sitting in the office every day for 8 hours. And I was in a really bad pain. And I talked to my employer, and he was not okay with the home office, even though my job completely allowed it, but it was not fine for him. So I decided that I cannot keep going to work on painkillers, and I quit my job. And of course it was not an overnight decision because the salary was good, but my health will always be a priority to me. So I decided to quit the job. And then the next big decision was if I stay in Tallinn and search for a new job, or I move back to my hometown Pärnu, and then I have time to figure out what's going to be the next step. So since me and my boyfriend didn't really like Tallinn, we decided that the right decision for us at that moment was to move back to our hometown so that we can then figure out what's going to be the next move. So on the very last day of February, we handed over the keys to our apartment owners and moved back to Pärnu. And after 5 years of living in a city that you don't really like, moving back to our hometown felt like a breath of fresh air, because Tallinn is really packed and it's so busy, everybody's rushing everywhere, it's always endless traffic jams, many people everywhere, like countless buildings surrounding you. But Pärnu is a bit more slower, it's so much greener, it has so much more nature, and it just matches our energy more. So we were really happy that we actually got to move back here. Then at the end of March, one of my biggest dreams came true. I finally got a tattoo that I was dreaming of probably since I was 14. I was around 14 when I told my mom that when I get a bit older I'm gonna get a tattoo and I'm definitely gonna drive a motorcycle. And she was like, yeah, sure you're gonna, because she didn't like tattoos or motorcycles and she probably thought that it's just some kind of teenage outburst. But as the years went by, I was still talking about it, and she at one point even started supporting me because she probably understood that I'm really serious about it. So when I turned 18, I went to driving school to get my driver's license, and I also got my motorcycle license at the same time because they had the option that you can do them both at one time, so it's a bit cheaper than to do them separately. And after I got my motorcycle license, I really wanted to get a tattoo also, but I'm very conscientious with such things because tattoo is going to be on your body for your whole life, and if you want to get a tattoo from a good artist, it's also going to cost. So I always had like another priorities, something always came up and I postponed it. So when I quit my job last year, I also had the money, and I thought that if I wouldn't do it at that moment, then when else? So I contacted the artist that I was following for quite some time, and I was absolutely sure that I want him to make this tattoo. And then at the end of March, we made it. So we did it in 2 days, and it was total of 8 hours. So we did 4.5 on first day and 3.5 on the second day. And I'll put a picture somewhere here so you can see it. It's, in my opinion, it's amazing. It really turned out just as I wanted it to be, and I'm really happy about it. So slowly the spring came, and probably for the first time in my life, I could just be in the moment and figure out what I want to do with my life. And let me tell you that it's not easy at all. I was so burnt out from my last job experience. I was in pain daily because of my back, and I couldn't get any help from my family doctor. And I was so lost regarding the job. I didn't know where or how I want to start earning the money again. I knew that I want to take a break from logistics, but I didn't know what would be the other better option for me. All in all, I was unemployed for 6 months, and I was searching for a job, but nothing seemed right. And I didn't want to apply just to have a job. I really wanted to do something that I would enjoy, or work in a place where I would feel comfortable, have good colleagues, and a supportive employer. So in the meantime came summer, and I regret that I kinda let it go by. Since I was in a darker place mentally, I really pushed myself to go out and enjoy the sun and have some fun motorcycle rides. And I really did enjoy those times when I pushed myself, and I had some really cool motorcycle rides. Me and my boyfriend even went for a small trip to Lithuania. We were cycling in the evenings, and it was good. But when you're living in a country like Estonia, where summer is so short, I feel that you should enjoy every warm day and absorb all the vitamin D. But I didn't really do it last year, and I'm trying not to be too hard on myself, and I'm sure that I will really enjoy this summer that is coming this year. At the end of May, my boyfriend got a job, and I was really happy for him because he also struggled for quite a while to find a job that he would like, and the job that would also let him grow professionally. So when he got a job that he actually liked, I was really happy for him because at least one of us got something figured out and was moving in a right direction. So we are slowly entering the month of July, and in July I bought a van. So I think I'm probably going to make like a whole separate video on this topic, because otherwise this video is going to be too long. But in 2 words, van life has been something that we really dreamed of, I think for at least 4 years, if not even more. And when we finally had the money to buy the van, we couldn't find the right one that was in our price list. So everything we liked was really over the budget and was too expensive. So at the end of June, I accidentally found a van that was way more cheaper than all the other ones. And it was because it had an engine damage. And since I had money and I really liked this van, I thought that I'm gonna buy it, fix the engine, and then I will have a van with good mileage, age, and I can start rebuilding it. But little did I know, this project turned out so much more expensive than I expected. It was so stressful that at some point I really regretted that I bought it. But I think that everything happens for a reason, and even if I'm just going to sell it, it was probably a good experience for me. So I think I'm gonna make a separate video on this topic so that I can tell everything in more detail. At the end of July, my boyfriend got a call from hospital, and they told him an exact date of his back surgery. And this topic has been really hard for both of us because we are both former athletes. We were rowers, but my boyfriend came very far, and he even represented our country at European and World Championships. He's also a certified personal trainer, And he's like such a tough guy that he didn't even take pain meds after his appendix removal surgery he had when he was 16. So you can imagine how unbearable the thought of having metal in his spine must have been for us. So I'm not gonna get into the detail of how and where he got this injury, but it was very bad for him, and he was also living in constant pain. He couldn't normally function anymore and live his day-to-day life. So the only option for him to get his life back was the spinal fusion, and he waited for the surgery for almost a year and a half. So on the first days of August, I drove him to the hospital to Tallinn, where he had the surgery. And it was a very hard experience for me because I was always used to see him as like a rock that I could lean on when I felt bad or something happened. But we had to switch positions, and I had to help him so much. Like for the first week, almost for the whole week when he got home, I didn't even sleep normally because he needed constant help with everything all the time. And at night he also woke up because it was very painful for him and he needed meds and water and help. And of course, his recovery was number one priority at that time, but I was also in pain with my back. So it was really, really hard period of time for us. But I'm actually very happy that I was not working at the time, so I could really be by his side every minute of every day and help him and be with him. So now he's feeling a lot better, his recovery went well, and for me it's also such a huge relief that he does not have to live in pain daily and that he's feeling so much better, and I'm just so happy for him. So at the end of August, my boyfriend bought a motorcycle as a project, but since he couldn't drive a motorcycle yet, we had an agreement that until it's not sold, I can drive it. And I probably have to make another video on this topic also, because I have so much to tell you about my motorcycle journey. Because a couple of years ago, I crashed on a motorcycle because I didn't have enough experience. So I crashed on gravel, and it developed a really huge driving fear in me. So it took me a while to get over it, and now I actually really enjoy driving motorcycle again, but I think it would be an interesting video to make. So we had really good memories with this motorcycle. We had some longer trips with it, and at that time I also visited the doctor who operated my boyfriend. And based on the X-ray results, he said that the only option for me would be the same surgery that my boyfriend got. And I just couldn't make a peace with the thought that I'm gonna have to get through the same process that my boyfriend did, because I saw how hard it was, how painful it was, and like, what are the odds that we are getting exactly the same back surgery? Because we didn't get our injuries from the same thing. These were like two completely different things, and we are going to get the same surgery. Like, what are the odds? So at the time it was really hard for me to make peace with that thought, and this motorcycle helped me a lot. I went for a lot of trips, I drove it alone, I drove it with my boyfriend, and it was so much fun. So later in the autumn, my boyfriend sold this motorcycle to his friend. So it actually makes me really happy to know that this motorcycle is in good hands and it has a really good and caring owner. And when this season starts and we will go driving together, I can still say hi and perhaps even have some rides with this motorcycle. So that really makes me happy. And at the end of August, I applied for a job. And as I later found out, around 70 people applied, but the luck was on my side, and at the beginning of September I started a new job. So now I'm working at the sports club as an administrator with 5 other girls, so I basically have to answer the phone and answer the emails. And I really love the job. I'm so happy because I have a home office and I only have to go to office once a month. And I have a very kind and supportive and caring colleagues and employer, and it's so important for me. So I'm really happy that I got the job. And also, it was another big step up for me because now me and my boyfriend both had jobs and we had it figured out and we could actually start moving so much faster towards our dreams. So it was a really big step up for both of us. Then came autumn, and last year I picked a lot of mushrooms. And I even talked about it in my last video that I probably last did it when I was around like 10 years old, I think, when I last went picking mushrooms with my grandparents. And when I did it last year, it brought such a childish happiness to me. It was so cool to go into the forest and just really enjoy what nature gives you. So now I want to make it into a little tradition to go every year and pick berries and mushrooms. So later in the autumn, I got my MRI results and I got a call from my doctor, and he said that from the MRI, he sees that everything with my back is absolutely fine and I don't need a surgery. So one part of me was very happy to hear it because I saw how bad the surgery is and I really didn't want to do it. But like from the other side, I was still in pain and my back was still cracking every day and I just didn't know what to do because I didn't get any help from the doctor. So because of that, I was again in a bit darker place mentally because I felt so helpless and I've cried a lot because of this. But as the time goes by, the brain gets used to it. So for now, I'm doing my physiotherapy exercises and I'm just trying to be as positive as possible on this topic. And I just believe that one day I will be fine and I'll find a solution and everything will be good again. And then we finally entered winter season. And this is the last bigger topic that I want to cover from last year. So, at the end of the last year, I finally started my mental health journey. I've struggled with some topics for years, and I decided that I finally have to find a professional that I can talk to. So I turned to a psychologist, and for now, it has been a really wonderful experience. I've got so many answers to my questions, and I understand why I was going in circles with some topics and why I couldn't figure some things out. So it has really been a very, very good decision for me. And right now, I'm not gonna tell much more about it because it's still very personal for me, but I just wanna encourage you with that. So that if you feel that you might have some problems, or even if you just have questions that you can't figure out on yourself, I think that it's so good that nowadays we have people who can help us. So don't hesitate to find a psychologist, and even if you don't match with the psychologist with the first one you meet, then find another one. There are plenty of them. So I just really want to encourage you, if you have any problems, then I believe in you and you have all the strength in the world to solve them. And finally, we entered the new year of 2024, and this year greeted us with very cold weather. So for the first week of January, we had minus 20 degrees every day, and the cars didn't start, and it was so fun. I really enjoyed these cold weathers. But I'm also already looking forward for spring. Because I really like when in the early spring the nature starts to wake up slowly and you have those first motorcycle riding weathers. So I'm really looking forward to those. And I feel that 2024 is not going to be an easy year, but I think it's going to be worth every effort. So I think I'm gonna finish this video for now. I wanna wish you all an amazing start of the year, and I hope that you will achieve all of the goals that you made for this year. And I'm sending you the warmest hugs from every corner of the world, and I'm looking forward to see you in my next video. So take care and goodbye for now.